Last week I was taking a walk trying to get my steps in, and a block away from my house I saw this mattress. It was just leaned against the side of the building, and I just thought it was really ghetto. I didn't really think much of it. And then maybe a week later I ended up taking another walk, getting my steps in, and ended up going in the same direction. And the mattress was still there. And it really just irked me. I'm like, why would you do that? So I wanted to talk a little bit about recycling today for those of you who have recycling in your neck of the woods. That's great. But apparently not all cities in America mandate recycling. Actually, only quite a few do. Cities like New York, Pittsburgh, where I am, San Diego, and Seattle mandate recycling. Other places probably do have something, even though it's not necessarily a legal requirement to recycle in your neck of the woods. So why was this guy just putting a mattress there on the side of his house? Here in the city of Pittsburgh, you can call the city. They have a direct number, and they will pick it up for you. You just have to go and call them and schedule it. A lot of times, certain companies or nonprofits or even recycling centers will pick up your goods. Other times you might have to go and take it somewhere. But there isn't any reason why you shouldn't be doing that. And we're going to talk a little bit about why people should be recycling if you're not already. One, it's really good for the environment. Assuming that they don't incinerate your goods and actually do recycle them, you can usually just go and take them to bins or take them to a recycling center. I have a link down to Earth 911 below. Nearly everything that could be recycled is. But you have to be careful with certain items. If you end up having like a car battery, in some cases you have to go and take it to a recycling center. Again, check with Earth 911, they can help you with that. In other cases, you might be able to call your local municipality, or they might have special days where you can go and take it to a local place instead of having to go to the recycling center if that's too far away from you. And some businesses like AutoZone will actually take a car battery. Go and check in your neck of the woods, but those things are toxic and you can't just go and throw them out. It'll just seep into the environment, into the ground, and into the groundwater. And the same is true with things like lithium batteries. If you have any lithium batteries, you don't want to go and put it in a recycle bin, and certainly don't put it in your garbage. Take them to the nearest recycling center, or go and call your municipality or one of the nonprofits or businesses in your neck of the woods. They will be able to go and tell you exactly what to do with them. You specifically don't want to go and do something like a lithium battery in the garbage or recycling bin because they can't explode. Not to mention whatever toxic chemicals they might have also. So there isn't any reason why you shouldn't be recycling. It's actually, in some cases, can get money back for things. For example, here in Pittsburgh, our local electric company, Duquesne Light, will actually pay you if you end up taking a refrigerator or freezer to them, or they can actually go and pick them up for you. So there's an ubiquity to recycling, although it has been a problem in the past couple of years. A third of all of the recycled goods in America are actually taken overseas. And countries like China will no longer accept American garbage. Kind of surprising that they even had American garbage in the first place. But because of their own environmental concerns, they just couldn't do it anymore. So a lot of cities are actually cutting back on their recycling here in America because of reasons like that. It's actually cheaper for companies to actually make products with virgin or brand new plastics than it is in some cases to recycle it. So if you remember, if you're old enough, years ago, companies like Coca-Cola used to go and have recycled bottles, and you had to go and pay in certain jurisdictions a deposit, and then when you returned the bottle, you'd end up getting the deposit back. If we ended up doing that more in America, like we used to, and relying less on plastics, and if you've seen my video on plastics, you know why plastics are bad for the environment. It's a lot easier in cases like deposits than it is to go and recycle something from scratch. Not to mention the fact that a lot of the raw materials are coming from places that aren't being fair to the environment where they're based out of, are not being fair to the employees. And it just makes so much more sense for us, instead of constantly going and digging and getting these new materials in the environment, to use what we already have. There'd be a lot less landfill use and a lot less burning and a lot less environmental impact. So I strongly encourage you, if you aren't already recycling, to do so. It's a shame that there are only 4 or 5 cities in America that make it mandatory. More places should. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.